Hi, I'm Tom Lydon, editor of ETF Trends here in Hollywood, Florida at the Inside ETF conference. And I'm here with Heather Fischer, Anthony Davidow from Charles Schwab. Folks, great seeing you.
Great to be here.
Happy to be here as well.
Schwab's got a lot to be proud of. The biggest custodian of ETFs in the world, but a lot of new trends are continuing. Heather, tell us some of the things that are going on.
Absolutely, be happy to. And we are the biggest, and we reached a pretty big milestone actually. End of 2016, we hit $305 billion in ETF assets on the platform. So we continue to see an embracing of ETFs by both our retail and RIA clients, who represented roughly 50-50 of the flows this year. So that trend continues, the embracing of ETFs. I'd say a trend that was different this year was a rotation home for both of them. We saw a lot more flows into US equities and US fixed income than we saw the previous year, and a drop in the flows in terms of international equities. So we're seeing some trends that are similar across both, differences as well, but I'd say that's the overriding similarity.
So investor sentiment is really a telltale sign at Schwab. You can see as many investors are a little concerned about overseas markets, but more comfortable with what's going on here domestically, right?
I'd say so, yeah.
So briefly too, you've expanded your no transaction fee platform. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So we continue to see the platform grow. ETF OneSource started almost 4 years ago with just over 100 ETFs on the platform. As of now, we're at 228. We started with 6 providers and we're now at 16, our most recent addition being Oppenheimer funds.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
great. It gets better. So Tony, indexing continues to evolve as well. And I love this report, The Elegance of Indexing, that you and Chuck Schwab together produced. Tell us about it.
It's exciting. I mean, first and foremost, Chuck has so much passion for indexing. He was one of the early pioneers introducing the Schwab 1000 in 1991. Of course, OneSource, getting into the ETF business relatively early and then growing an incredible business. And then, of course, most recently, our automated advice offering. So I think there's many ways that we've really embraced ETFs as a better way of individuals getting exposure to the market segments.
But they get they're a little more complicated, a little bit more dynamic as time goes on, correct?
And I think that was one of the key purposes of the paper, to really talk about indexing 1.0, which was really just the basic exposure to the various market segments. And then, as you point out, as we get into 2.0, which is very exciting with smart beta and all these complex products, we understand that individual investors in particular need to understand what's going on under the hood. So the purpose of the paper is to really talk a lot about that innovation and try to break it down into easy bite-sized pieces so people can consume. They can understand the differences across the various types of strategies. And then more importantly, we try to pull it all together and suggest a way that advisors and individual investors can build portfolios using these better tools.
Absolutely. And again, Schwab is no slouch as far as their own ETFs. Currently, the assets are over $20 billion, is that right?
I think overall ETFs in the Schwab family is over 50 billion. They're the number 5 provider and really experienced incredible growth kind of across the board, similar to Heather's story with retail, institutional investors. And I think they are very much committed to this business and will continue to grow.
And it's amazing because we're actually seeing advisors that tend to be on other platforms now going in and buying Schwab ETFs, which is something that, years ago you wouldn't imagine. So again, you folks have a lot to be proud of. Continue the great work, and thanks for spending some time with me.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.